Hi, everyone, and welcome to the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Cutting Edge Benefits Podcast for their host, Tom Quigley of ClaimLinx. Tom, we're picking these subject matters to show how much of an expert you are because you've been in this industry for 30 plus years. You understand health insurance and you understand how to save people money on, like, you're the Geico guy. So maybe you are the, I guess, mascot for ClaimLinx. So let's talk about specifically how to save money on prescriptions in 2026.
Well, as the Geico guy, that guy picks up all the girls at the bars too. That's good stuff. All right. So, anyways, saving money on prescriptions is really easy. The biggest problem that most people are running into is they don't realize that if they buy the highest deductibles where all the drugs go towards your deductible, the manufacturer brand names will pick up your deductible so you have no out of pocket risk the rest of the year, meaning you have a 100% health plan and you pay virtually nothing or $5 for the one copay. Because these drugs cost 10, 15,000 bucks a pop, and they give out manufacturers rebates that will cover up to 15, 20, 25,000 a year. And if you have a high deductible, everything goes towards the deductible, and you present your card from the manufacturer and it pays for it. Now
So
you've
when you,
satisfied your whole deductible.
so when you think about manufacturer's rebate, is that for anyone or only you have to have a high deductible plan to qualify?
To anybody, but the problem is most people are getting it with they have the drug copays, so it may cost 200 bucks and they only pay $5 with the rebate card. But what they don't realize is if they were on the highest deductible where everything goes towards it, including drugs, they'd be giving themselves 100% health plan when they go to the doctors or have anything done at a hospital. They'd pay literally nothing.
Really? Okay. So
Mhm.
what? So how do you get these manufacturer rebates?
They put you on a drug, you can literally do two things. You can go to needymeds.org, or you can also go to GoodRx and click on the manufacturer's coupon, or you can just type in Google the drug, type it in and ask for the copay card. And literally you can print it off. You might have to answer a few questions. They'll send you a temporary card. All you have to do is give that to the pharmacy and you're on your way. You're done.
Are there any other ways to save on prescriptions?
Yes, you can also get in programs that you can get your generics at no cost. Some of these direct primary care and wellness programs have them, along with you can purchase it directly yourself through some of them. So you can get in these clubs and pay virtually nothing for generic drugs.
You,
However, it's a math problem. So if they're charging you 15 bucks a month to be on it and you're on one generic and it only costs $4, you're giving away $11. You don't have to. You can also go directly. There's needymeds.org. You can go directly to there and literally they have programs for it's income based for drugs also where you can get your drugs at no cost for both generic and brand names or
here's my
greatly reduced costs.
Here's a question for you, Tom. This is interesting. Let's just say you're looking at, you're specifically your prescription drug costs and specifically
Mm-hmm.
what are programs like GoodRx? Like I'll go to the Giant Eagle, John
Mm-hmm.
Eagle, as in Pittsburgh, they'd say John Eagle. And I go to the Giant Eagle and I basically would say, I want the GoodRx price. Is that the
All
best
right.
way to do it, or is that really not? That's saving something, but not what I could be saving.
Depends on the drug. If it's generic, probably. If it's brand name, you can use GoodRx. There's other ones that you can use. And like when you go, you should look at the pharmacies. You can go right onto their websites and look at what the rates is versus what you have for insurance. And you should use whatever's the cheapest. It's
And that,
it's
yeah.
people just you have to do a little work, people. out there. You got to do a little work. If you're willing to do a little work, if you're going to buy a car or if you're going to buy a computer or a smartphone or whatever it is, usually you do a little research. You do the same for what you put in your body. Imagine that. What a concept. You can find out how you can pay less for what they're asking you to put in your body. I'm not a doctor, but
But
I'm just telling you that you can Google.
or go to AI. No, you could ask AI, create your own AI agent saying, become my drug cost prescription expert. And they we'll see who, again, at one point, I think we were doing a little bit last time, answering questions, what AI would say compared to you. And it was a close comparison. But ultimately, a lot of people don't know how to do that. So they need to just listen to a podcast like this to figure it out, but that's really smart. And so good RX is good, you think, with generic drugs or not generics, with brand names.
Uh, I think GoodRx is good for, I think you should shop GoodRx on any drug. I mean, it's all math, so you figure out. And then they're kind enough at the bottom of their screen to have, if it's a brand name, the manufacturer's information, and you can click on it. It tells you how much. You click on it, and it brings you to the site, and you can sign up and get that card directly from the
Mm.
manufacturer of the brand name.
That's awesome. And that's something that people should think about doing. And that's a generic drug or a regular drug, right?
Usually, it's more for regular. Um, so yeah,
Interesting. No,
it's all
so
game.
no, it is definitely a game, and doing the research is so important. Why are people getting what drugs, prescription drugs, are the biggest? You think people are getting hit the highest with costs, and that really kind of break the bank for them? Certain drugs that
What
are out there, prescription drugs.
a lot of the people who have rheumatoid arthritis or psoriasis, those drugs are like Skyrizi and all these others are very expensive. Those are the ones that all have manufacturers' rebates. Some of the weight loss drugs, you can literally get into programs where the weight loss drugs are greatly reduced in cost. Again, direct primary care, you can. There's so many. What you have to do is you have to be willing to do research. Like I said, you have to be willing to not accept, you do your own research. If you can do that, you can pay a lot less for your drugs. In a lot of them you get for free
Right. You brought up the thing about going for a high deductible,
all the
especially if
time.
you're so I'm still confused when you said if I'm lowering my costs on all my drugs and paying
Yeah,
hardly anything, how am I
yeah.
going to, with my high deductible, have the other services? So prescription drugs is still.
Because they put the drugs, if you buy the plan right, the drugs, all medical costs go towards a high deductible. Say it's 10,000. And you're on Skyrizi, which costs 25,000 roughly a pop.
Really.
Yep. And Skyrizi has a card that will pay up to like 15,000. So you go to the pharmacy, you hand them your insurance card. They say you owe me 10,000 bucks. You hand them the Skyrizi card. They go, thank you. Have a great day. That whole 10,000 now is satisfied in the insurance. It's been paid. The rest of the year, the insurance is on the hook for 100% of all your out-of-pocket expenses.
No. So the most expensive drugs out there, I did not know about that. So that's so definitely don't get rheumatoid. Try to avoid rheumatoid arthritis. It sounds like at the price.
No, actually, if you want to have great health insurance, get it. And also psoriasis, because then you will have 100% plan and you're paying the least amount because you're on the lowest cost option they have.
That is a pretty good gimmick.
It's not a gimmick, it's the reality. It's
So
been
as
going
former
around prior
as a
to.
former wrestler, we call everything a gimmick if it works out, a gimmick. But that's okay. It's in a way. I mean, it's just such a good strategy. My goodness. So what other cross drugs? You talked about Skyrizi. You talked about the. You talked
Well,
about.
then you got all the injectables, all of them. They get you. Then the cancer drugs, all that. And then you also have the ability on some of them, if you're diagnosed with the cancer, do some research. Needy Meds is great. But there's other, Google clinical trials. If you get into a clinical trial, all your drugs are no cost.
Wow. Interesting. And you should have all this stuff on your website, but I'm glad we did a podcast on this. That's why we did a podcast on this, because this is really interesting stuff. These are the secrets that Tom's able to do to help companies save money on their health insurance while providing better benefits for their employees. And it's a no-brainer
Correct.
except math. And so let's just talk about specific drugs. The weight loss drugs you could luck out with a no cost high deductible, buy a high deductible plan on on healthcare.gov, then go ahead get the manufacturer's rebate for the weight loss drugs, and you pretty much have healthcare for free for the year, pretty much.
Depends on the drug. Some drugs you're only going to get a couple hundred, but if you're on the right drugs, yes, that's absolutely correct. And then let's say you go on the weight loss drugs after, then you get your weight loss drugs at no cost, as
Interesting.
long as it's medically necessary. You're not just doing it because it's some diet.
Yeah, because the doctor has to choose that, right? Even though there are other programs
Yeah,
out.
now they have criteria. You got to have type 2 diabetes, or you have to be over a certain point on your AC1 or whatever.
Really, I didn't know that. So that's another new.
Yeah.
What? So I thought that. Well, why? That's why people go through these
It's just like
scam doctors.
cosmetic
Yeah,
surgery. Sometimes you get a nose job if it's to clean to make you breathe for sinus purposes or whatever, that's covered. But if you just are doing it because you don't like your nose, sorry,
I
that's
see.
on you.
I see. Certain people are buying the weight loss drugs straight cash, not worrying about anything because there's not going to be any coverage. They just
Like
get the script.
breast implants. If it's they had cancer and they removed it on a mastectomy, then the breast implants are covered. But if you want to go be a size whatever, I don't know the sizes, whatever they are, because your boyfriend wants it, then you make your boyfriend pay for it. That's not covered by insurance. But then let's say you get back issues because of it after, then that is covered by insurance.
What are you seeing the biggest cost people are paying for prescription drugs? I'm definitely getting out of this topic. Where do you see the most expensive prescription drugs cost for people? Cancer drugs are the worst. Full
Depends.
price.
Again, cancer drug. It depends if a lot of the hospitals, they're not the greatest. The administration has come where you have to buy, if you get the drugs at the hospital, you're forced to use, whatever, and they charge ridiculous amounts. They inflate the costs and stuff. But if you're able to, get in a clinical trial, or if you're able to get the drug and then get it administered by someone, um, you can get those for a lot less money because of the way the system is.
What about Mark Cuban's program? I forget. It's called something price drugs. Have you ever taken a look
Same
at
with the
that?
president, Trump RX, same thing. Yeah, absolutely. All those programs you should look into it, and it's a math problem. If you're giving them $10 a month and your generics are four, great. But if you have five generics and they're costing you $50 a month and it costs you $10 to be in the program to get them at no cost, pay the $10 with a smile.
But people just don't do the work looking at these things.
No, they think everything should be free on their health insurance, and that's the way their mentality is. If they did as much research as they did on all the other things I mentioned, you know, I'm going to buy a new lawnmower, so I need to Google, what's the best brand, or whatever, right?
Right.
Great,
So
but same stuff.
so I just nailed you first. Now I'm on US News and how to save money on prescriptions 2026. We'll have a different uh, title for sure. I'm sure that we'll come up with a better one. Here are the strategies they said. Ask your doctor about possible alternatives. Depends who your doctor is. If it's a
Right.
then adjust your insurance selections. You said that. Leverage HSA and FSA accounts. Make
Well,
an
that's
appointment with the
just
pharmacist.
financing it.
change providers, use prescription savings cards, look for manufacturer discount programs. You nailed it.
Ah,
Leverage state pharmaceutical assistance programs. You said that. Seek assistance from nonprofit group. Didn't know about that, but that's something really interesting. Request medication samples from your
no,
doctor.
that's part of needy meds, the grants. That is also.
Yeah, but
There's
see,
state and federal ones. Go ahead.
you're the expert. You didn't go in on a website. You just had this in the top of your head. You told all this.
Yeah.
This just proves you know what your stuff. A lot of the people would have to go search the internet, do those things. Just giving you cred that you just nailed this. And he didn't even prepare for this. I just came up with this topic 3 minutes before. And that's
Yeah.
why you got to go to claimlinx.com and schedule a call with Tom today. And I think the greatest strategy is if you're spending a lot of money on prescription drugs,
Yeah.
go ahead, use the manufacturer's rebates, basically have it as a high deductible plan, and then basically you don't pay for healthcare for the other stuff. That's simple, very smart.
Mhm.
And you do those strategies and claimlinx.com if you're an employee. And if you're, let's say, small business, have 1, 2, 3, 4 employees, still it's worth it to have a call with Tom today. Appreciate it, Tom.
Enjoy yourself.
That was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Cutting Edge Benefits podcast, guys. Take care.